the spot where the spotlight is hot, and you'll see in the spotlight a juggling jot, who can juggle some stuff you might think he could not, such as 22 question marks, which is a lot, and 44 commas, and also 1 dot. That's the kind of a circus McGurkus I've got. But that's just my sideshow, a start, a beginning. This way to the big tent you'll find your head spinning. Why, ladies and gentlemen, youngsters and oldsters, your heads will quite likely spin right off your shoulders. So hurry, step lively, quick, ladies and gents, and get into your seats in my tent of all tents. My parade of parades is about to commence. You'll see Drum Major Sneelock fling-flang his baton, and my organ McGurkus come on with its hot steaming pipes of gold brass-plated tin, snorting all sorts of snorts in a bumbling din. That is super stupendous, stupendous, stupendous. And when I play Dixie, please join in the chorus. Then a fluff-muffled truffle will ride on a huffle, and next in the line, a fine flummox will shuffle. The flummox will carry a lurch in a pail, and a fibble will carry the flummox's tail. While on top of the flummox, 3 harp twanging snarp will twang mighty twangs on their 3 snarper harp. While a bolster blows bloops on a 3-nozzled blueser, a nolster blows floops on a 1-nozzled nooser, and then comes a lion who's partly a trout, and then more stuff for 45 minutes about. And then, behind them, then while everyone stares, come my to and fro marchers, who march in 5 layers. The fro's march on twos, and the twos march on fro's. Don't know how they do it, but that's how it goes. And now comes an act of enormous. No former performers performed this performance. This stunt is too grippingly, slippingly frightening. Down from the top of my tent, like grease lightning, through pots full of lots of big sticklebush trees, slides a man. But a man on his roller skate skis. And he'll steer without fear, and you'll know at a glance that it's Sneelock, the man who takes chance after chance, and he won't even rip a small hole in his pants. And now here in this cage is the beast most ferocious, who's known far and wide as the spotted atrocious, who growls, howls, and yowls the most blood-curdling sounds, and each tooth in his mouth weighs at least 60 pounds. And he chews up and eats with the greatest of ease things like carpets and sidewalks and people and trees. But the great Colonel Sneelock is just the right kind of a man who can tame him. I'm sure he won't mind. Then I'll let Sneelock off for a few minutes rest, while high over your heads you will see the best of the world's finest, fanciest, breezy trapezing, my Zumazoot troupe from West Upper Bendeezing, who never quite know, while they zoop and they zoom, whether which will catch what one, or who will catch whom, or if who will catch which by the what and just where, or just when and just how, and which part of the air. Aye, what a circus, my circus McGurkus. My workers love work. They say, work us, please work us. We'll work and we'll work up so many surprises, you'll never see half if you had 40 eyeses. And now, again Sneelock, brave Sneelock is back, risking life on my patented life-risking truck, while the speedsters I call my colliding collusions race around in swift cars called abrasions, contusions. And Sneelock just lies there, not one bit excited. I know he won't mind, he'll be simply delighted. And here, in a contest of brute strength and muscle, Kid Sneelock, my champ of all champs, will now tussle and wrestle a beast called the Grizzly Ghastly and slap him around. Then he'll slam him down fastly and pin both his shoulders tight flat to the mat. Kid Sneelock will love it, I'm sure about that. And while that goes on there, look at this go on here. Have you heard of my herd of through horns jumping deer? Every deer jumps through horns of another pell-mell, while his horns are jumped through at the same time as well, by a deer whose horns also are being jumped through, by another who's also having his horns jumped through too, which I'm sure trainer Sneelock can train them to do. Then the whole tent will ring with hoorays and wild shouts while I wheel in my whales and they turn on their spouts. First my whale number 1, with an aim that aims true, spouts a spout that spouts Sneelock to whale number 2. And then whale number 2 spouts his spout like a gun, and that spout spouts old Sneelock right back to whale 1. And then forwards and backwards on spout after spout, my great spout rider Sneelock gets spouted about, just as long as the water they're spouting holds out. Then my tournament knights, noble apes without fear, Sir Hector, Sir Vector, Sir Bops, and Sir Beers, Sir Hawkins, Sir Dawkins, Sir Jocks, and Sir Jeers, clatter into the tent while everyone cheers, stage a roustabout joust with their boxing glove spears. And while all of this ruckus goes on down below, at the top of the tent, look, the star of my show, great daredevil Sneelock, the world's bravest type. He comes pulled through the air by 3 Subrian snipe on a dingus contraption attached to his pipe. And while people below are all turning chalk white and all biting their fingernails off in their fright, great Sneelock soars up to a terrible height. Then he shakes himself loose. He starts down in a dive, such as no man on earth could come out of alive. But he smiles as he falls, and no fear does he feel. His nerves are like iron, his muscles like steel, and he plunges down, down, with his hair still combed neat, 4,692 feet. Then he'll land in a fishbowl. He'll manage just fine. Don't ask how he'll manage. That's his job, not mine. Why, he'll be a hero. Of course he won't mind when he finds out he has a big circus behind.